Hi there, and welcome to Master Toons Heroes, the all heroes all the time edition of the Master Toons podcast. I'll be your host for this evening. My name is Carson Somenlaw. Joining me tonight is the boy wonder of uh, this podcast, George Baum. Say hi to the kids, George.
Hello, and it's Baum.
Baum.
How many times do I have to say this? Why do so many people get that wrong? I have no idea. Anyway,
I was about to say Baum, and then I was like, no, it's Baum. It's Baum. Okay. Anyhow, well, with that out of the way, yeah, there's only two of us tonight, so it'll be nice and short and sweet, hopefully, unless we go on a tangent. I don't know. Anyhow, on to the news. Why not? So starting off this week, sorry?
I'm just saying, continue on with your news talking.
Oh, yeah, sorry. All right, so the news. Starting off this week, we have the X-Men universe coming to the small screen. Marvel TV has announced that they are working with Fox to create a television series based on the Hellfire Club and with FX networks on a series based on Legion. Sorry about that. The Hellfire Club will be set in the 1960s and is described as following a young special agent who learns that a power-hungry woman with unusual abilities is working with a secret society of millionaires to try to take over the world. It is unknown whether or not this series will be set within the continuity of Fox's movie franchise, but it could be possible as Fox does own the movie rights. George, what do you think?
I don't know nothing about this franchise, but I do think it's interesting to see Fox try to branch out a bit more, because I always felt like some of the more interesting. A bit off topic, but I've been watching a lot of The Flash on Netflix recently, and I think that show is fucking excellent. And I feel like it's because this is a character that has a wide array of characters that he can use, but they don't want to limit him to a 2-hour running time, so they go with 1 hour long or 45-minute episode per week, and that gives enough breathing room for character development, story development, and so on. So I feel like this is a smart move on their part after the complete fucking disaster that was what they did with Fantastic Four this year and the years prior to that.
Yeah, and even on their TV, they have Gotham. That's really all they have. And the first season wasn't that good. I hear the second season is a bit better, but I mean,
the most I've actually seen of Gotham was the opening of the pilot, but that's about it. I haven't watched past that. It's on Netflix.
I tried watching more, and it's just not that interesting. So I stopped.
I don't blame you.
But yeah, I mean, I think this could be really cool, because what they did with the Hellfire Club in X-Men First Class was really cool. And although it was a bit of a departure from, what it is in the comics, I think it's kind of, a necessary evil when you're adapting something.
Definitely.
Leave parts, add new things, but as long as it kind of, adheres to the core, elements of the property, I think it's okay. And
exactly.
In the article I read, I don't know if this has been confirmed by Fox or Marvel at all, but in the article I read, it said that it would be set in the 1960s, which is when First Class was set. So, I mean, even if it's not connected, it's not in the same world, it could still very well have that same vibe. And I think I commented on the article in Master Toons, and I said, I mean, it would kind of make sense to have it in the same universe as First Class, but then have it as kind of a prequel series. Because I
get what you're saying.
At the end of First Class, the Hellfire Club is kind of, dissolved. But I feel like you could get Kevin Bacon back. You could get January Jones back if you wanted, because they've both worked on TV before,
definitely.
To some success, and I think it could be really good, really interesting, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I full disclosure, the only X-Men movie I've seen the two Wolverine movies and Days of Future Past. That's about it. I've
Okay.
wanted to see the other movies for a while. I've been wanting to see First Class as well, so I know nothing
Mhm.
about that. But I feel like my only real concern with this is the time where it's set between First Class and the actual show, because there's always that wonder of how long they want to stretch this out. Because if they want to keep this like its own self-contained series, they're gonna have to bring in like the connection to First Class eventually. It just depends on how long they feel like they can bring this out, and or if this is actually successful.
Yeah, that's true. Or I think they could kind of go the way that Hannibal did, where it's kind of a prequel to like the the what most people think of as like the Hannibal movies, like Silence of the Lambs and all that.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's not like connected continuity wise to those movies.
I
Um,
get what you're saying.
so like even though it starts off as a prequel, it can kind of go wherever it wants.
Sure.
Um, so I think they could also do that, and that would be good. If they go that route, they obviously can't use Kevin Bacon or January Jones, but I mean, I
Yeah,
don't think as much as I loved Kevin Bacon in that movie, I don't think it's necessary to have him back.
I
Um,
get what you're saying.
yeah. And then the other piece of news within this story is that FX is making a Legion uh, TV series. Do you know anything about Legion?
I do not. I know it was based on a apparently terrible movie that no, not that. I know that the shares the same title of a really terrible movie my dad saw, and he said it was terrible and it got terrible reviews. And I think it was
Yeah, the one with
one
the
of the worst movies.
angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Which, by the way,
was
they stole my fucking idea. Like, I had this wonderful idea when I was younger about the ideas of like humans contacted with angels, but it's like hell angels, and they cause like this
okay.
massive plague across the earth. So yeah, fuck you, Hollywood.
That's funny. Despite the name, it has no relation,
Oh,
so
thank God.
that's a good thing. Um,
Yeah, definitely.
Legion is actually the son of Professor Xavier.
Really?
Yeah, in the
Oh,
comics,
interesting.
and he's kind of crazy. And his kind of big claim to fame is that he began the Age of Apocalypse because in his kind of warped mind, he was like, I'm going to do something really great for my dad. I'm going to kill the man that has brought him so much trouble. I'm going to go back in time and kill Magneto. And so
Jesus.
he goes back in time to an era when Magneto and Charles are still friends, and he tries to kill Magneto, but because Charles and him are best friends, Charles throws himself in front of Magneto and he dies. And then it messes up the timeline, and then it goes into Age of Apocalypse. So that,
Okay. Oh wow, and my brain hurts now because I
yeah,
have a
right?
massive time trouble nut, and like just
Yeah,
trying to
so
dissect what you just said, just like legitimately hurting my brain.
So Charles Xavier's son goes back in time, kills his dad.
So that would technically mean he wouldn't be born to come back in time in the first place.
Right.
So
But I
that
think
would.
they just kind of skip over the whole paradox thing and just let it slide. But then what
Okay.
happens is Magneto then is like, to honor Charles, I will follow his way of thinking that like, mutants and humans can live together. And so Magneto starts and leads the X-Men
That's
in
actually really interesting.
yeah, and so that's kind of the whole premise for Age of Apocalypse. But so yeah, I mean, I don't really know what they'll do with Legion. But I mean, I don't know. He could be kind of like a loner or
Yeah.
something with like weird powers that he doesn't understand, and he's trying to like figure it out. And he has
Potentially. Again, I don't know nothing about the. I know jack shit about X-Men, so I
Mhm.
wouldn't know what this would turn out to be. But I'm interested in seeing what they'll do with it. But knowing this is Fox, I doubt they'll do it probably well. But then
Well,
again, you never know.
Legion is on FX,
Oh yeah,
so
true.
that's with like Sons of Anarchy and all that.
Oh nice. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
interesting.
Sons of Anarchy is done now, but same
Okay.
channel. And I just wanted to mention, not that anyone watches this show, but for all of you who do, there was also a rumor attached to this announcement claiming that Fox had given over the rights to Fantastic Four back to Marvel. But Fox said that is not true.
Yeah,
So,
but honestly, which is fucking bullshit if you know anything about what went on with the rights deal,
yeah.
because they made Fantastic Four, because was released, just because it wasn't successful doesn't mean it doesn't exist now. It's released, so
Mhm.
they can still have the rights for about I think 5 years or so. I think it was the last time.
Yeah, like 5 or 7 years or something like that.
So yeah, and the way they've been treating this franchise for the past what 10, 15 years or so
Yeah.
gives you a good sign that they're not going to let this fucking these rights go anytime soon, because they just want to make more money, catch up with Marvel, try to beat them at their own game, because they're stubborn fucking assholes. We did an entire
Yeah.
podcast talking about this. Go watch that if you want to know more.
But yeah, so I just wanted to say, it's not true, dispel the rumor. But so yeah, that's that. Now, speaking of Marvel, they have just announced their newest project in an AntMan sequel.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so after the pleasant surprise that was this summer's Ant-Man film, Marvel Studios has announced that a sequel will be released titled Ant-Man and the Wasp. It'll come out on July 5th, 2018. In light of this, Black Panther has been moved to February 16th, 2018, while Captain Marvel moves to March 8th, 2018.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, so what do you think about the Ant-Man sequel and the
Well,
fact
for
that it's titled Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Well, for one, as you can just tell from my news profile picture I just changed to, I'm a massive fan of the character of the Wasp, especially on this where this character came from, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And I thought Ant-Man was pretty decent overall, but I'm just because of what I feel like that was a lighter version of what happened with Fantastic Four, where there was like a terrible production due to like Edgar Wright reading midway for the project, and they had to quickly get someone to fix up the project before it was ready to be released. But I feel like since now, I felt like that showed a bit in the film. But I feel like now that they have the right director on hand, the cast, and the screenwriters, and they have a good set goal, I feel like this will move a lot smoother than Ant-Man did for me, because I know a lot of people who love that movie. I get you, that's fine. It just wasn't really anything really that special in my eyes, but still, I can definitely see this working. I'm really excited because Wasp is probably easily one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this, and I mean, I wasn't ever really worried that it would be a bad movie. I just
Yeah,
was
I get what you're
afraid that
saying.
it was going to be disappointing,
Yeah, I
but
get what
it
you're saying.
didn't. Well, to me at least, I just thought it was a nice, like, small superhero movie in a world where, like, you know, everything is like, we have to save the world from aliens or something like that. It was
I,
nice to just have like a small, heist movie with, and it was fun. It had like fun characters and stuff. It reminded me a lot of the first Iron Man movie, actually. But yeah, I mean, I had fun with it, and I really loved the the relationships in it, like the father daughter, father son relationships. Um, I just thought it was kind of a nice little superhero movie with
yeah,
like with
definitely.
with some heart. And I agree. I think that the Wasp character, played by Evangeline Lilly, I forget what her name is
I think it
in
was
the
Hope.
movie.
Yeah, it was Hope
Yeah, right.
actually.
Hope, Hope
Hope
him, right?
him.
Right.
What kind
Okay.
of fucking name is that?
Yeah. I just whenever I think of the Wasp, I always want to say Janet Van Dyne. So I was like, it
I
is
don't blame you.
like, yeah. But I think another cool thing that they did in the movie was flashback to Ant-Man and the Wasp in like the Cold War era.
Yeah,
and I really kind of hope that they do kind of like a Godfather 2 type thing where they have like flashback like a flashback kind of story going on like concurrently that parallels the like present day story where they show old Ant-Man and the Wasp and new Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That
I just
actually
think
would be really interesting.
yeah, I just think that would be cool. Or at least like start it off with like old Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just want to see them again, you know. I felt like it was a cool thing. Like even the way that they started off the Ant-Man movie with like the Shield stuff, the old Shield
Yeah.
stuff where Hank Pym comes in, he's like I'm quitting or whatever happens. Um I thought that was really cool. It just like it builds the world, you know. It fills it out because like you know they had Captain America, which I loved, and then but then aside from that, you don't really have like the history. There's a huge gap in time in the Marvel universe, and it was cool to see kind of what happened in there. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think that the kind of history of Shield is a cool thing that they're doing. Like they had the Agent Carter show, which I didn't watch, but I think it's cool that they're kind of going into that. And the fact that it ended up being Hydra, like it's actually, I don't know, I just find it kind of cool, you know? And
Definitely.
the fact that Tony Stark's dad was involved in it, and I don't know, it's just cool world building to me, and I like it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I've always been a fan of '60s propaganda
Yeah,
and entertainment, especially entertainment, because I love '60s movies. I love '60s TV too. Hell, I
yeah,
said this over on my podcast. Like I get cable, and now I mostly just watch MeTV, and that's just nothing but '60s and like '70s shows. And so
yeah,
when I saw Captain America back in 2011, it wasn't around the time when I'm obsessed with the '60s as I am now, but I fucking loved that movie from beginning to end. I thought it was a fucking blast and a
hmm
great tribute to that genre and silver age of like Marvel comics and the Cold War era. And I felt like Joe Johnston did a great job. And I would like to see that kind of style come more back, not more back, come back a bit more in some of these movies in the past, like what you said, like flashbacks to the original Ant-Man and Wasp, and I feel like that would be really interesting to see what happened in the past between those two characters because we didn't get a whole lot with them in the Ant-Man, and I feel like they could do a lot more. I feel like there's a lot you could do with that. It wouldn't even take that much. It would just like have the regular story and then have like another script underneath it, or like you write the first script and you have another one underneath it. That's the parallel, and then you try to like find the proper way to connect both beat by beat scenes, so that way it doesn't feel that disjointed or something like that.
yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I'm just excited for this. I've been slightly, like I said in the Fantastic Four podcast, I've been slightly burnt out by all this. Like it feels a bit overwhelming at times, like knowing like all these superhero movies are coming out in the next 5 or so years. But I feel like these next year will possibly be a lot better and possibly give us a lot more variety and so. And I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and I felt like the first Ant-Man film was kind of you know, I have never been a proponent of the superhero fatigue kind of
Yeah,
school of thought. Like I've always thought like there's so many movies, you know,
yeah.
like that come out. No one has ever gotten tired of no one has ever gotten like action movie fatigue. No one has ever gotten like, you know, historical drama movie fatigue. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
definitely. I feel like
But
it does. I feel like it depends on like how many come out in
right.
within the same year in the same time period.
Right, but at the same time, I guess I kind of was feeling a little bit of superhero fatigue in a way. Not the same way that other people find it, but I just felt like it was getting like the Marvel universe is getting a little congested, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree.
Um and I thought that Ant-Man just acted really well as a sort of palate cleanser, you know?
Definitely.
You know, it was just nice and simple and to the point, and I'm glad that we're getting another one. And with the, you know, I really hope that they do the flashbacks because I'm a huge fan of that kind of '60s espionage stuff. Even they
Same.
even kind of did it in Captain America: Winter Soldier, and I really appreciated it. And even Man from Uncle, that was fun. You know, it wasn't the best movie, but it was fun. You know, for what it
Yeah,
was.
I loved that movie. I saw it in opening night with my dad, and I had a
Oh yeah.
fucking blast. Oh, hey,
Yeah, I
Ryoga.
mean,
Oh my
yeah,
god, I completely forgot that Ryoga was here.
yeah. I mean, it was fun for sure. I just had, I don't know. I found the pacing. I had problems with the pacing, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, I do
Um,
understand.
but yeah, and so I guess we're all excited for that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
and
moving on to the next news, which would
yeah,
be...
so more from the Marvel camp. We have the Hulk appearing in Thor Ragnarok. Joe Blow reports that Mark Ruffalo is in final negotiations to appear as Bruce Banner slash the Hulk opposite Chris Hemsworth in Thor Ragnarok. It has also been revealed that a major portion of the film will take place somewhere other than both Earth and Asgard, so a completely different setting. Uh, this has led some to believe that elements of Planet Hulk may be incorporated into the movie. However, nothing of this nature has been confirmed by Marvel. Kevin Feige has actually said that, but he has said before that Planet Hulk is nowhere in the plans for the future of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that doesn't mean they won't take elements from it. So, George, what do you think?
Uh, I actually don't know what to make this really, because I know for a fact, due to like rights disputes with Universal and Marvel, that they can't make standalone Hulk movies because Universal has the rights to standalone Hulk movies. So I feel like they're trying to make a bit of a turnaround to try to make Hulk have his own standalone character in his own little movie or something, while also incorporating the Thor and setting up more stuff. But on the other hand, I really don't know where this is going to go per se, because when you hear the idea of like them making a Planet Hulk movie, you know what you're gonna get. It's gonna be Hulk on an alien planet. It's gonna be Gladiator with Hulk and aliens. With
Right.
this, and the idea of taking it place on different places other than Asgard and Earth, you really start. It's just hard to tell what exactly is planned for this, unless we get some more announcements in the future or not.
Right. Well, what I know of Ragnarok is that it's basically what happens is there's this legend, this kind of myth about the end of the world. Is basically like Norse Armageddon, and it has to do with pulling this sword from a mountain or a rock or something. Not unlike Excalibur, if I remember correctly. And so basically, what happens is this guy, this bad guy, comes along and he's like really powerful, and he pulls out the sword, or he's trying to pull out the sword. It's a little fuzzy. I've never read the story. I've just kind of seen summaries online.
Yeah.
Um, and and so then what happens is Thor tries to stop him, but he can't because the bad guy's too powerful, and so he gets help from Beta Ray Bill, who is kind of like an alien Thor. He was Thor for a while. He had Mjolnir, and then Thor came back and took Mjolnir, and then Odin made Beta Ray Bill his own hammer, and he's kind of like alien Thor.
Okay,
So
that's
and so they had
bizarre,
to
but
work.
makes sense.
Yeah, and he
And
has
if
like
you
this weird horse
it
face kind of
also
thing.
appeared in the Planet Hulk movie during one of the flashbacks,
Yes,
in which
yeah,
it's the Edith Thor.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
yeah, exactly. So that's who that guy was. Um, and so basically, Thor and Beta Ray Bill team up and stop the bad guy from destroying the universe. And so what some people are saying is that the Hulk, rather than introducing Beta Ray Bill and having this whole new character, some are saying that the Hulk may just kind of play Beta Ray Bill's part in the story, which I think could work. I mean, you have this like other, big, powerful, Hulk is strongest there is character, and I think that Thor and Hulk have, some good chemistry as we've seen in both of the Avengers movies.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and like their fight in the first Avengers is good, and then you have like the punch at the end there.
was hilarious. One of the best scenes in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
So because of the fact that I think if you read the Captain America Winter Soldier is that it will feature several characters involved in not Winter Soldier, Civil War. Rather.
Civil War, yeah.
So besides Captain America and Iron Man, we're also going to have Bucky's going to be there.
Man, Bucky, Black Panther, I believe, Spider-Man, and Iron Man.
So instead of being being their own solo films, they are going to be they're all part in major films.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that in the case of Thor Ragnarok, we're going to have that same progress with the Hulk joining in. And as you say, Carson, there is also a possibility that we may have other Marvel characters appear in the Thor Ragnarok film, just to add that notion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense because I feel like if they want to adapt this story, I feel like, and they don't want to go for the more expensive, add more characters that they're gonna have to bring in possibly for Avengers Infinity War, since I think that's gonna involve like all of their characters joining forces and fighting someone, or I don't know what that's gonna be about. So I feel like this will make sense from a story, and more or less, I think it would be simpler and more easy for them. And also, I don't think like a lot of people would really want to just see what is just basically another Thor in this series, because let's face it, no one really wants to see that. So, and I think that makes sense because I like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, and I think he plays the role well, and I like Hulk as a character. I actually think Hulk is probably the more I think about it, I feel like Hulk, the Bruce Banner Hulk character, is probably my favorite Marvel character because I've always been fascinated by the inner beast type character, like Wolfman, the Hulk again, and stuff like, or like
Jekyll and Hyde kind of
Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. I've always liked those characters that have this inner demon that they cannot control, and once that thing gets out, because I personally relate to that due to my own severe mental problems and my own personal experience. Plus, I just think it's a cool concept, and I like the execution of it. I feel like this could be good if they do it right. And I know nothing about the director. I've only seen bits and pieces of What We Do in the Shadows, and I've never seen Flight of the Conchords. And I think that's odd that they're getting the guy who did What We Did in the Shadows and Flight of the Conchords to direct a Thor movie with the Hulk. That's just me, but
well, I mean, you did have the Community guys doing Winter Soldier, and that ended up being one of the best Marvel movies. So.
Yeah, that's true.
We actually discussed this before. Is that it's been pretty much.
And how I also recently
to hire these low-end directors and have them do big budget films, and we've seen a lot of that since the first and second phase movies. So this is pretty much not a surprise here that instead of hiring a huge director, they're just hiring some small fry to do the job. And so far it's been doing well for Marvel.
Yeah, definitely. And a bit off topic, but I feel like the idea of getting someone who's previously done work in the past and bringing him on something doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be bad. I just worry that they're not going to put enough effort into it, or maybe they'll just like phone it in or something. But I bring this up because recently I was proven wrong of this because I recently saw Goosebumps, and that was directed by the guy who brought us Gulliver's Travels and Shark Tale, with Jack Black playing Arnold Stein, and it's honestly one of the best.
Shark Tale is a great movie. You don't say nothing about Shark Tale.
I haven't seen it since I was like 7 or something, so I wouldn't know. But and I honestly think that's one of the best family movies to come out of recent memory, because what surprised me was that of how much genuine effort was put into it to make a good film, and I feel like my disbelief of like being worried about these certain directors doing these certain projects has kind of been lowering a bit more. I still have that slight bit of doubt in my back of my head because that's just who I am, but it's gotten better, definitely.
Yeah, I think that because this is kind of the last cosmic Marvel movie before Infinity War, if I remember correctly. Actually, no, that's not true, because they have Guardians of the Galaxy. But one of the last cosmic Marvel movies before Infinity War, they will kind of put effort into building it up. Because after this, you have like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, some smaller characters.
Well, speaking of Captain Marvel, I don't know if it's already confirmed that whether or not Marvel will cancel the Inhumans movie because um, Agent of Shield.
Gene, you mind turning up? Ryoga, you mind turning up your mic a bit? We can barely hear you.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I was saying if it's whether it's confirmed that Marvel Films, the film division, is going to cancel the Inhumans movie because
I
Marvel
don't think so.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about the Cosmic Marvel and the Inhumans. Yeah. The actual Inhumans, which includes Black Bolt and Medusa, are pretty much part of the Cosmic universe.
Yeah.
So, and Captain Marvel, since if you're familiar with her origin, is also tied to the Inhumans as well.
Yeah.
So that's a big question as to whether or not they'll continue the Cosmic universe. If they're going to continue with the Cosmic after Guardians of the Galaxy, then if it's a question of where they'll feature the Inhumans in terms of
that's your answer right there as to whether or not they're going to cancel the Inhumans movie. Is that they are related to Captain Marvel? They're kind of yet another avenue into the cosmic universe of Marvel, which is kind of it's a big thing in Marvel, and at the same time it's kind of like their answer to the X-Men, and it's a way to introduce a whole new batch of characters in one movie. I just think it would be a very bad both artistic decision and business decision to cancel the Inhumans movie, regardless of what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does. Because really, the amount of people who watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in relation to the amount of people who watch the Marvel movies is so infinitesimal, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, you know, so it really doesn't matter what TV does, even if they mess things up continuity-wise. So yeah, but speaking of Inhumans, that's a great segue. Thank you, Ryoga. Vin Diesel could be starring as Black Bolt in Marvel's Inhumans. Diesel recently went to his Facebook account to say, "One role is my voice, while the other role is my presence." He is obviously referring to his role as Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy, and many are speculating that this new role may be the silent Black Bolt, king of the Inhumans. So what would you guys think of Vin Diesel playing Black Bolt?
Now, here's the thing. Some of you may probably know that Vin Diesel, despite all his hulking appearance, he's actually a big nerd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's very, very much open to saying that he has been a huge fan of fantasy books, novels, and he has played Dungeons and Dragons numerous times. That's why I believe the last Witch movie is coming out this weekend, which is a movie that he worked on.
Yeah.
And he's passionate about it because he's a big fantasy geek. So it would definitely be something he'd be very, very happy to do if he gets to play Black Bolt besides being Groot. Now, for those who don't know who Black Bolt is actually one of the most powerful Inhumans in the Marvel Universe, in which the power of his voice can actually destroy buildings, if not kill people.
Yes, cities. It can decimate cities.
That's how powerful he pretty much is, and for that reason, for pretty much his most of the character's history, he doesn't talk at all.
Yeah.
Only in certain situations. So, and he is one of the many Inhumans, as far as the Cosmic Marvel is concerned, who do play a very huge role on that layer of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, like with a whisper, he could destroy. Like, it's ridiculous. Like people talk about the destruction in Man of Steel. Black Bolt could do more than that with a whisper. Like, that's how powerful he is.
That's insane.
That's basically how insane Black Bolt is. If you guys have been watching the X-Men movies, there is a character there named Banshee who does shrieks, but Banshee is nothing. compared to what Black Bolt
Yeah,
does.
even like Black Canary cannot hold a candle to Black Bolt, man.
Exactly. So, but definitely would be a good starting point for Vin Diesel to actually make his character, even if he doesn't talk much. But the fact that he's that intimidating is pretty much
Yeah.
awesome.
So, in conclusion, Ryoga, you would be all for Vin Diesel playing Black Bolt.
Well, if it's well,
Sorry, we can't hear you, buddy.
can you hear? Okay, can you hear me again?
Yeah, yeah.
If I was okay, probably I may have some interconnections or something. But as I was saying, if Marvel gets to confirm that he gets to play Black Bolt, that pretty much seals the deal that we're gonna have an Inhumans movie coming in.
Right. So George, what do you think?
I haven't seen Vin Diesel in much, so I don't know what his range is. I've never seen the Fast and Furious movies. The most I've seen of this guy is in his voiceover work on The Iron Giant and Guardians of the Galaxy, and I love both of those movies. So and the concept behind Black Bolt is actually really interesting. Kind of like.
Never seen Pitch Black?
Oh,
I have
yeah,
not
that's
seen
a good
Black.
one.
I forget actually. Do I actually have Black Black? No, I don't. I once saw it at a thrift store on VHS and I didn't get it out because I was low on money or something. Anyway, back on topic.
I mean, I was saying I never got to see Vin Diesel in Pitch Black because that's basically his breakout role there.
Oh, nice.
And it was, and it's basically a horror movie in a sense before it became an action franchise. But if you want to see where Vin Diesel really got his big break, you should really check out Pitch Black.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll definitely do that. Anyway, I honestly, the concept behind it is interesting, but I wonder, like, when people are watching it, depending on what they're going to be doing, I wonder, like, is there going to be, like, this big thing about people, like, waiting, like, well, if she's so powerful, why doesn't he just do this at certain scenes? And, like, I wonder if they're going to, like, dial it up so that way when he does do these things, it does cause, like, Man of Steel level world-building destruction to, like, a city or something, or if they're just going to have it, like, be, like, a simple, like, crater, like a small crater or something. Like that, but I'm not entirely sure. It just depends on how they level it out. But other than that, I'm interested.
I don't know. I think as far with Black Bolt's character, unlike is that because Black Bolt knows his own strength. For the most part, when he goes into battle, he really, really does hold back. So because he knows of the devastation he would do if he actually utters a word. So. I would say, in the case of Black Bolt, it's similar to Groot, is that Vin Diesel won't be getting that many scenes in which he'll probably be looming in the background, but the fact that he's there is already scary enough. It's kind of like, I assume you've seen the third episode of One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, I have.
Where this big hulking monster wants to kill, and by one look at him, he's already scared.
Yeah.
And Monster Man hasn't even done anything. He was just being himself. He hasn't even started being serious yet. And that's the same thing with Black Bolt. That he'll just be there, and things are going to get really bad when you see Black Bolt. You don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. I'm wondering on whether that he'll be like. I don't know how to necessarily say it.
Just so you know,
the main character that drives the story, but more or less like the guy who resolves like the main overarching plot of it all. Like I don't know. It's I try to think of many examples of characters who've done that before.
But another thing we have to remember is that even though we're talking about Vin Diesel's Black Bolt, he's not essentially the main protagonist in the Inhumans. We still don't. He's basically going to play a supporting character here. We still don't know who are the other characters who's going to play Medusa, one of the other Inhumans, for example.
Okay.
And the rest of the characters. We don't. Some people are even wanting to have Kamala Khan, the Miss Marvel, play because she's essentially the most popular Marvel character right now. So for those who don't know, Kamala Khan actually took the mantle of Miss Marvel from the original Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, when Carol became the new Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And Kamala is part of her popularity is that she's
Yeah,
she's
but I mean that's a bit of a tangent. So
Yeah.
why don't we just bring it back? I
Basically what I'm
personally
saying.
would. Yeah, I mean I wouldn't be surprised actually if Vin Diesel ended up being Black Bolt, because I don't think you have Vin Diesel just for a voice, you know. He has a good presence, and I think you should use it, and I think it would be used well with Black Bolt, specifically for the reasons that you guys all listed.
And
like
also, I feel like it comes down to
when
another
you
thing
think
that I like
about
to, that I bring down a
it,
lot in
right,
podcasts and even to my friends. I always say like the best kind of stories are ones, and best kind of movies or shows are ones that can express certain scenes through either visuals, or music, or both. And I feel like because of the restrictions that they have on this character, I feel like they could do a lot. What I'm worried is that they might level it down to have him just be in the background, like the guy who will just resolve everything when one single go, or just not have him there at all, and you're wondering why the fuck we have Vin Diesel here if he's just going to be here. But if he's there mostly to act like almost like a horror villain, not necessarily like a not necessarily he's gonna kill people, but more or less like the threatening guy of the group, just gonna stand over there, one little breath of this will kill you kind of guy. I feel like at that point you could let anyone play him, but I feel like Vin Diesel would be a good choice if they're going to get him.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm predicting this right now. You ready? At the end of Infinity War Part 2, you have Thanos standing over all of the Avengers with the Infinity Gauntlet, and then Black Bolt stands up, and Thanos is like, "What are you gonna do? You know, you're so small. I am the Titan. Blah, blah, blah. I hold the power of the universe in my hand." And then
uh,
Black Bolt is just like,
nope, nothing,
and he's like,
I know what you're thinking, but no, that ain't gonna happen because in part is I don't know if they're gonna bring Adam Warlock in, who's a major character in Infinity Gauntlet.
a lot of people think that he is Star-Lord's dad, so we'll see what happens in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
But I think from the way the present, since I know that the Infinity War is sort of the end all to everybody, and the Inhumans. I would find it a bit injustice to the Avengers movies overall if they decided to if they allow Black Bolt to get involved in Infinity War. I just wanted the Infinity War to be settled with the current Marvel cast. So that's the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and if they decide to bring in those from Marvel TV, as Kevin Feige says eventually, then so be it. But yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that the Inhumans will probably just go off, be like, see you guys later during Infinity War, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that is the end of this show. It's the end of the show. That is the end of our show. I told you it would be short and sweet. Maybe not as short and sweet as you would like, but hey, it's our show, not yours.
Exactly.
That being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your very busy day to listen to us guys ramble on about this stuff. All right, so signing off, we had with us today Ryoga.
Okay.
Where can they find you, Ryoga?
As usual, you can always find me on YouTube, username Yoga316, so check that out over there, as well as check out the sister Facebook group to Masters Assembled, the Animation Nation on Facebook. Guys?
Yep.
Yeah, George, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube and also on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. And again, you can meet me on Master Toons Assembled if you want to join. And also, I have my Letterboxd account, Ariel Rocks 5 at just Ariel Rocks 5. Look it up on Letterboxd, and you see some of my reviews of current and old movies. And you can also find me in the few months or so, depending on how what I'm going to be doing or how long it's going to take me, I have a Vimeo account that I'm going to be using for doing my in-house critic stuff, but I'm going to be doing video reviews soon. Depending on what's going on in my life currently and how progressive I can get this and how, because I recently my computer fucked up and I lost my editing software, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take for me to get one new one. Depending on how long that, I'm going to be doing more video reviews. I'm going to do more movie reviews, and you can also find me on that page, facebook.com/page The Honest Critic, and that's about it. Carson?
Wicked, yes, I have been your host, Carson Somenlaw. You can find me on Twitter at Carson Somenlaw, on Instagram at Dr. Somenlaw, and on Facebook at our very own little group, Master Toons Assembled, as well as on YouTube at The Darth Turd, and of course right here on the Master Toons podcast channel. That has been our show. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you liked what you see, check out the rest of the channel. Subscribe so you can be updated on all the cool new stuff we're doing. We're expanding a little bit.
Yeah.
Leave a comment, if you have any suggestions or any compliments for your handsome host. And that'll do it. So we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. If I can stop the broadcast.
You have one job.
This is another one of our famous long-winded. Oh fuck! All right. Bye.
Peace.